Welcome to Global Voice Radio with Nikki Ruffin-Smith, host of Naya's Project. Join Nikki as she talks about education, family fun, and building a business. Join Nikki Ruffin-Smith, host of Naya's Project, every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Hello, everybody. Hello. I hope you guys can see me, and I'm just excited to be here. I got so much to talk about today of Naya's Project, and hey, how you doing? Naya's Project, let me know if you have any problems hearing me. I'm trying to set up everything right now. So, invite your friends, give me a shout out here, because this is an interesting topic as always, and I want you to not miss it, and I want you to share it, especially for those of color. Please send the recording, or send an invite for the live to your family and friends, because you are not going to want to miss this today. All right, so I'm going to give it a few more minutes and let some people show up. I'll invite while you're inviting. Let's invite together. So I'll be inviting as well. Giving a few more minutes so we can start. Now, okay. So I'm inviting. You guys make sure you invite, because this is going to be a great show for you all today, for me, for others. It's important, especially again for the African American community, okay? So make sure that you send this invite out to all the people that you know, especially people of color. It is imperative that they join us today, and for in the future too. Enjoy us, continue to enjoy us. And continue to join us. Every day, if possible. As you know, I have a radio show that airs on Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And usually my radio show will be recorded, so some of the lives that you are seeing, like right now, you'll be hearing those again. So, but not always. Therefore, I would love for you to share the lives as much as possible. Today's topic, Today's topic, as I put it on the screen there, is about the first topic that we'll be discussing. It's about preparing our kids for their future, for the future, and for their future, because there are some things that if you are not a reader, or if you're not a researcher, or if you're not inquisitive and you just take things at face value, you'll never know some of these things. You will never know. I'm still inviting. Y'all continue to invite. Please invite. You will never know some of the things that others are setting in motion. The powers that be are setting things in motion that, definitely concern people who look like me. And most of the time, those decisions are being made by people that don't look like me. And that's like 90% of the time. And y'all know this. And then we as a community, as a people, we don't get out, and a lot of us won't read. A lot of us won't research. Many of us will sit day after day in front of the television, but watch things that have really no value to us or for us, and we go on our merry way, and we talk about what's going on in the world, but what are we doing to counteract that? What are we doing to be proactive in it? And, so I am guilty. We all are guilty, because a lot of us would prefer entertainment over watching or reading something that will benefit us, right now, not just in the future, but right now. And so it is my goal from here on out, it's my goal to ensure that I at least plant a seed. I'm not talking about just you need to go to school type of seed, or just going and helping boys and girls read and helping them sit and read what the powers that be have put before us, because they'll put out there what they want you to know. For example, we all know that's true. They'll put out there what they want you to know, and what they want you to be coerced on a daily basis into knowing. How many of you guys were it's so funny. It's funny and it's so sad. How many of you were taught about who you are and where you come from in a positive light? How many? Really, I'll wait, and you can comment on that and let me know in a positive light. Now, so you may say, okay, I was taught by the powers that be about Dr. King. I was taught by the powers that be about Harriet Tubman. I was taught, by certain ones, and we're talking like Booker T. Washington. Won't take anything from any of these people that we were taught. They're throwing in the onesies and the twosies here. And most of the time, the people that we were taught about were non-controversial people. Now, you may say Harriet Tubman was, created a stir. Yes, she did. She created a stir. And I said most of the time the people we were taught about, were those. So I invited some people. That's what I was doing, y'all. So anyway, I'm back and I'm focused. We were taught about a selective few in our classrooms. And I thank God for us knowing those few, because if those of us who don't like to read, those of us who don't like to research, we would be lost, really, really lost, because unless somebody is spoon feeding you something, then you wouldn't know anything. Well, I am challenging each and every one of you to research for yourself, no matter what skin you're in, black, white, red or brown. Research for yourself, read for yourself, and even the avid church goers out there. And y'all don't beat me up, but I'm just going to tell it like it is, like it T.I. is, like my grandmother used to say. When you go to church and you're sitting there and you're amening what the pastor is saying, and hi Tasha, you're not challenging within your own being what is being said to you from the pulpit, that's a disservice to you, because you have a right. And I know guilt has been planted in a lot of us who grew up in church, like myself, that you're not supposed to question. They'll say question God. You're not supposed to question God. And that's a lie from the pit of hell. And the reason that was put out there is to keep you with the slave mentality. And not questioning authority, and not bettering yourselves, so I won't even go there with, into any more of the religious aspect, because that is not what I'm here for. However, I'm here for Naya's project. And being that I want to do the very best I can when it comes to Naya's project, I am on a journey of research. I am on a journey of reading things that I normally don't read because of it being, so technical or technically written that's uncomfortable. But that's life. Things are going to be uncomfortable until they become comfortable. And when they become comfortable, then that means you need to keep on moving because you're not growing anymore when things become comfortable. So I'm still learning that at this age. Prepare your kids for the future. Prepare them to ask questions. Prepare them to not take things at face value. Show them. Let me tell you, my mama used to do. We say, "Mommy, how do you spell this?" "Oh, Mom, what does that mean?" Mom, she'll throw the book, the dictionary at you or the encyclopedia. And I don't know about you, in most families where I grew up, there were two big old books of dictionaries and with the Bible right there too, and encyclopedias were there. And my mama would say, "Okay, there it is. There's the book over there. Pick it up. Don't ask me any more questions until you come back and you tell me the answer, or show me that you have attempted to find the answer." So that is what we need to keep encouraging our kids to do. And it's okay to use technology. Don't discourage them when it comes to using technology, because that's there for their use. I don't know if you guys looked at my, and I talked about it yesterday, looked on my page to see this post I made about these kids. It was a group of kids who were in a contest like Jeopardy. So they both sides were given, books to research while answering the question. And also they were able to discuss with each other, what the answer could be. And then they answer the question. Excuse me, y'all. It's my dog barking. So, anywho, please go and look at that video. Hush, Cupid. Look at that video. You will be amazed. And it's the truth. It is the truth, guys. It is the truth. And it blew me away. Well, as I continue to say, preparing our kids for the future, my brother sent me a video today. The video, I can't remember the name of it, but I'm going to post it. I'm taking it in pieces and watching it, processing it, and part of me, I'm like cringing while watching it because, oh wow, it is so deep, but there is nothing in it that you might say is nah, this is not the truth. This can't be the truth. Baby, when you see this video, when I post it, please watch it. You will be amazed. You'll say to yourself, this is the truth. It's the truth. It has to be the truth. Because the reason why I say that is because some of the things that are addressed in this video, you have asked yourself these questions. For example, have you noticed that there are families with cancer and they all have lived within a certain area? Or, you know what I'm saying? They grew up in a certain area, and every one of these people, or most of them, have died or are dealing with cancer. And you say, now, this is not something that is just genetic. Cancer is not just genetic. You're prone to it because of where you are, what you've been linked to. And that means the food, the water, that environment. Something in this picture is not right. So you say to yourself, could their city or their community be built on in a sewage pit, a chemical sewage pit? But then you dismiss it because you say, wow, nobody could be that cruel to develop a whole community on chemicals, where chemicals have been deposited, or where weapons of mass destruction have been tested and just left in that dirt. And then these communities are built over it, or what have you. And you say again to yourself, that can't happen. That can't happen. That didn't happen. Oh, but it has happened. I was teaching my kids one day at college, and I had them research the Tuskegee experiment. And right, it's not genetic. I had them researching the Tuskegee experiment. Now, at first, they wanted me to tell them about it. So I got in my mama's mode and I said, no, you want to know about it? If you want to know about it, go. You don't even have to pick up an encyclopedia. You can just open your laptop, type it in, the Tuskegee experiment, and read it. Do you know, when my kids at the schools read this, they looked at me so sick and sad after reading that. And I'm not going to go into that with you guys here, because if you want to know about it, research it if you don't already know. And to make it easier, there was a movie with Lawrence Fishburne. He portrayed one of the main characters in the real life story. So the Tuskegee experiment is only one pinhole of what I'm talking about, as far as something being done to a population of people. And just so happened with that, it was a race of people. And a lot of times today, it's still a race of people. Oh my God, here's another one, guys. I have to stop. Here's another one. I don't know if you all heard of Freeway Ricky Ross. So a lot of you from New York already know about Rick Ross, not the rapper. I'm talking about the real Rick Ross. He gives a story so controversial and so chilling, and please research that and go and then come back and comment about Freeway Rick Ross and his story. Now, it's another one of those things that you said, I wonder if the powers that be had anything to do with this right here. And Rick Ross was just a pun in this thing, in the scheme of things. Now, I'm not saying he's not as guilty as the rest, but just check it out. Preparing the children for the future. Things like that, guys. Our kids need to know, and they need to know not to take things at face value. Research, dig deeper. We're in the days and times now where most things cannot be hidden from us, because we are people of this new day and age, where we can read, we can write, we are free to think, we are free to speak, we are free to question, we are free to do all of that. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't come at a cost, because there is a cost, whether it be by your life, because people still out there don't want you to speak or to know certain things, because it's going to affect their dollars. It's going to affect those things. So I am being cognizant about what I say as well, because not me being fearful, but I have a family as well. So I've also learned in all my getting, I get understanding. I gain wisdom in what I say, what I don't say, and what I feel like I'm impelled, I have to say. I have to say to people, because when you gain knowledge, you are responsible for that. Meaning you are responsible for practicing that what you have learned, if it's something that is good, or if it's something that's not good, you are responsible for kicking that to the curb and say, I'm not going to do that anymore, because this is what I'm doing, to my people or to myself. And you look at it totally different when you gain knowledge of something. Now, when you view those videos that I just told you about, you are responsible for what you're knowing. You can't just pick that up and throw it away. Prepare our children for the future. Now, let me add another part to preparing our children for the future. A lot of people, and like myself, I was only merely thinking of planting the seed of education as far as science goes, preparing the kids to work and being well versed in a certain area. Not one time did I think of the health, so to speak, the physical health of the children. Of course, I'm thinking, okay, get a healthy diet. Of course, the children, when I get to my book about Naya Adores Art, I'm going to talk about physical fitness and making sure kids are looking at what they're eating and how they're eating. Because when I was growing up again, we were told, you get outside and play. Go outside and play. You finish your homework, you finish the chores, what have you. It's some daylight left. You go outside and play. You come in the house before the street lights come on, but you going to play. And I don't know, or you going to get out the house, get some fresh air. And my mom used to always tell me, Nikki, just go sit in the sun. Sit in the sun because it'll make you feel so much better. Mama had a point. And oh boy, did she not really know her point. Let me tell you, when you're sitting in the sun or encouraging your kids to go outside, the children need light, especially sunlight. They have to have sunlight. They have to have light. All right? Now, when you keep a kid in, especially children of color, because if you think about it, think about it. Where did the people, and all people, this is a whole nother subject, but where did all people come from? Mother Africa, bottom line, okay? But for the darker skinned people who are closer to the equator, their skin was developed, yes. Their skin was developed to be able to absorb or to be able to deal with being close to that much heat and light. So therefore, the dark skin is what did it. The melanin in the skin protects the skin for overuse of sunlight. Okay, so it won't give you the skin cancer and all of that. So, yet and still, the sun has vitamin D. That is essential for every part of our being. And let me tell you what it is especially essential for. This right here. The brain. When this gets out of whack, everything is done. It's done. Because you're just walking around, if you're walking around, dead. Because this is gone. Now, somebody somewhere knows this. So, if you are encouraging, or better yet, if you're locking up the darker skinned people, and you lock them up for years and years and years, where they don't get this vitamin D, then this goes. Come on, somebody. This goes. So they got you where they want you to be. Somebody out there say, not on my watch. Not on my watch. Because there is more than one way to get vitamin D. Praise God. Praise God. There's more than one way to get vitamin D. So you research that. You make sure your children are getting vitamin D. These kids are not dumb. These kids are not retarded. These kids are, oh my God, kings and queens. And they are told that they have mental issues. They are told that they need to be in special ed. They are told that they are not the head, but they are the tail. Not on my watch. If you allow your children to stay in the house all day playing video games and not getting the sun, not getting any of that, and check this out, they go even further to take physical education out of the school system, or they take away recess where the kids would go outside, even if it was just 15 minutes. And they take that away and they keep them in a room, and sometimes these kids don't even have windows. So in the schools, y'all, come on somebody, if you go in the schools, some of them, especially in the inner cities where they are designed by the state, you go in these schools, they're set up just like a jail, a prison. They're designed just like prisons. So you wonder why your children have this prison mentality. I'm not saying that's the only reason, but I'm just saying, look at this, people. Look at what they are designing our children to come out, to model, to be. And then when you feed in their heads that, well, you see, this is how your uncle turned out. You see, this is how your daddy turned out. You see, this is how your brother or your sister turned out. Then what are they doing? What are they doing? They're putting that in there. So that's what, as a man thinketh, so shall he be. That's what he will be. So I don't have to lock you up because I've already locked you up in here. If I keep pushing and planting that in the system, in your children's system. Ooh, when you learn better, you got to do better. So I'm asking all you grown people out there who have had some type of a chance, reach back and help others. Help me through Naya's project. Help me through Naya's project, because it's not going to be on my watch. I owe the little girl that I have. I owe her to do better, to do something. I owe my grandson. I owe your child. I owe your grandchildren, because I have been blessed with the ability to be, quote unquote, successful, and to know how to be successful, to know how to read, to know how to write. Thank God for my ancestors who fought, bled, and died for that. And you tell me people, it makes me mad to hear somebody say, I don't like to read. What? Don't you tell nobody that ever again. Just say you don't read, but I'll do better. I'm going to read. And I can't be too mad, because I have done some things. Y'all, let me tell you, this is my digress moment again. I got my voter's card in the mail, voter's registration card in the mail. I almost cried. I really did. I felt like I felt when I was 18 and I had registered to vote. Well, I spent almost 30 years in the military. So we did get to vote, but it didn't feel the same to me because I was here, there, and everywhere, and I'm like, okay, what do I do? And so I went out to vote, and most of the times my voting was for the president, but now that I'm learning so much more, I realize that although I need to vote during the presidential election, but my voting really matters at the local level. That's where it matters most. Because by the time it gets up there to the presidential election, y'all, come on. It's pretty much what it's going to be. And that is why we were faced with Hillary and then Trump. It wasn't just people going out and voting that day. We should have been voting all along before we got to Hillary and Donald. Maybe it wouldn't have been Hillary and Donald. I don't know. But I could kick myself. But and then in the Word of God tells us pretty much, now this is not verbatim, that because you are ignorant, it doesn't keep you from reaping the consequences of being ignorant. In life, you don't know what the law is. It doesn't prevent you from going to jail. You can go in front of the judge all day and say, well, I didn't know. He's going to say, well, how about it? You know now because you're going to suffer the consequences. Yeah, that's not a good answer. It's not. So vitamin D, that's the least we could do right now, right? And support Naya's project. When I say support Naya's project, this is what I'm talking about. I have some books out there already. One is on Amazon. I have many, many books, but right now, Naya's project is like my passion, my everything right now. And I have one of her children's book that is on Amazon, and that is Naya Knows Numbers. That is the first one that I did. And that's really an introduction to who Naya is, who her family is, and how she can count and all this right here. Numbers. So math, introducing preschool kids to numbers. You say, well, Nikki, they already know. Don't be disillusioned, guys. Okay? Don't be, did I say the right word? Oh, maybe not, but you know what I mean. Don't take it as you already, the kid already knows that. No, baby, no. I have seen 5 and 6-year-olds that don't know how to count, that can't even recognize the number 1. So let me tell you how I found out that you cannot just you can't just assume. Well, I found out that a lot of times, but when it comes to children, one of my girlfriends had a computer lab. She has a computer lab that she's running for her city. And at first I was like, a computer lab? I mean, everybody has computers already. Why? Come on, somebody. Everybody doesn't. Everybody doesn't. Half of the people in this particular city don't. And if they do, sometimes the lights or electricity gets turned off. Sometimes the computer doesn't work. It was old. Somebody gave it to them. Sometimes these kids have to send their schoolwork with mommy to her job so she can do their work and pray that it's acceptable when the kid get it. And she did what she could do. I'm telling you, you will be amazed. Sometimes kids are too ashamed to even go back to school and say, I didn't have access to a computer. Sometimes they staying up all night to try to do the homework on their phone. So don't assume that every kid at the preschool and pre-K age knows the basic numbers, because they don't. So what I'm trying to do is support those communities with Naya's project to encourage that and to push that knowledge in those communities. Okay, even if I have to go out there and help assist teachers in the classroom, because when you get to some of those classes, the teacher is outnumbered. The ratio should be no more than, when you're talking about pre-K or preschool kids, 3 years old, 2 years old to 4 years old, you're talking about the teacher shouldn't have more than 5 kids. That one teacher. But come on, somebody. When you go in some of these classes, the teacher is way outnumbered. So every child doesn't get what he or she needs from that teacher. So the parent has to step in, and what they have in the STEM realm is project-based learning, PBL, and project-based learning is where the teacher, the student, and the parent are all collaborating to ensure that the child has exactly what he or she needs. And the curriculum is designed to fit, not just that one child, because you're going to have several within the same type of, area. And so you're looking at audio-visual learning and hands-on learning, the hands-on approach. Some of the classes now, when you go in, they're set up like low round robin type things where you got this going on, that going on, this going on, and hands-on stuff where they're building. They got Legos here and clay here and water here. And I'm telling you, a lot of it has changed from when you were in school. Now, when I was in elementary school, you sat there, you were quiet, and you listened to the teacher. And it was what the teacher said that she was the say-all, be-all of how I grew up. And that's what Mama went with, too. And, now, not when it came to discipline, so to speak, but when it came to the education. And if you think about it, there was a reason for that. Because back then, many of the parents or grandparents had never finished school. Okay? They weren't educated enough to really have a hands-on approach, a project-based learning approach with the teacher and the student. So everybody pretty much depended on the teacher to do everything. And she could do, but then the teacher at that time, and when my mom was growing up and, and everything, the teacher had that type control. You didn't have children raising up on the teacher way back then. It didn't happen. I can't say it didn't happen, but I'm sure they remembered it. The kid remembered it if it did, because mama or grandmama came to the school and tore that butt up. Well, today it's not like that. So you kind of have to have children active all over, and doing different things. So that's project-based learning, and I'm learning a lot about that and how to implement that even at home with my daughter, because kids go from one thing to another at that age. They just doom all over the place. So you kind of have to develop that mindset. So y'all, I hope y'all stay with me and stand with me through this, because this is I'm very passionate about it. And again, I said I had Naya's project, Naya Knows Numbers, on Amazon, but I also have Naya Knows Numbers and Naya Talks About Technology on Bookman.com. That's BOOKE.com. And so you can purchase it there. Now, also, I'm taking donations to help me finish some of the books that I'm working on now, because I would like, as you work with what you have. When I was starting out, I did everything. I did the illustrations, I did the writing. Yes, interactive learning. I did the writing, I did all of that myself, everything myself. And I mean, I think I did a good job to have done everything myself. But as I grow, I want, things to look a certain way, be a certain way. And so I'm going to need resources to help do that. And I'm just asking you guys to help me help the children. help our children. You know, and someone asked me, she said, well, I know that this is not just for black little girls or little girls of color. And I said, no, but it is primarily my vision, my thought process is for little girls that look like me, or little Spanish girls or what have you, that do not have the same opportunity as other races. And I'm not going to apologize for that, because that's just how it is. And if that means I don't get certain funding just because I say, hey, this is somebody who looks like me, who I'm really pushing this on. I'm really pushing this on. That, is nothing racist about it. I am just saying that I know, and you know, that certain communities, certain ethnicities, certain financial that communities that don't have the financial backing, they just don't get it. They won't get it, and if they do get it, it's 2 or 3 years old. So they're not on the same level. They are not. They are not. What were you told as a kid in being successful? You have to be better. You have to be better than the other person that don't look like you. You have to be better, and you pushed harder. You pushed harder. So I still want the kids to strive hard, but I want them to know that they are just as important as the next person. No one is any better. We all are here trying to do this thing called life, okay, and do it to the best of our ability. The children are the future. So again, vitamin D, get your vitamins, give your kids their vitamin D, all right, and support Nice Project. Part 2 of this message, and this won't be as long, but the phases, I talk about the ingredients of me. I was speaking to my mentor today, Miss Millie Woods. Speaking to her today, she's such a beautiful, beautiful lady, and she has been in the education system in Syracuse, New York for, almost 30-some years. But, of course, she's retired now, retired from that, but she's always doing something. She's an activist in the educational arena. So we were talking today, and she has a conference that's coming up soon in Syracuse, where I'll be a guest speaker, and I'll be discussing my military background as well as my background. Now, she is pushing me into a very uncomfortable thing, and that is talking about my life as a kid up to my military career. And she really touched on some things where it had me thinking about the ingredients of me. And one young lady I was talking to yesterday, she said something to that aspect, like the ingredients is of me. And I was like, wow, isn't that profound? Because there are certain parts of everyone's life where this was put in the pot. This was put in the pot, your pot, the pot called you. Mommy put it in, Daddy put it in, Grandma put it in, the next door neighbor put it in, the preacher put it in, all these different things that stirred, and the pot was stirred up, and then you were formed, right? You were formed. I'm talking about you, the mental you, the personality of you, all the ingredients that shaped who you are. So I was just thinking that about me. And I guess at when you get a certain age, you start appreciating more and more, even the not so good things, because it makes you who you are. It was an ingredient that was necessary. And some things we know that was done to us or not done for us, we say, no, That shouldn't have been like that. Well, perhaps, but perhaps it should have been, to stir up your pot and make you the beautiful you that you are. So I challenge you to think about the ingredients of you, okay? And just write that down or put it somewhere in the files of your mind. It's a great thing. And don't dwell on it. Don't dwell on like some of the rough things that you had to go through. Celebrate it. Celebrate them. Just say thank you. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. I was thinking about one time where, I could not get past this for nothing in the world. Every time I would think about it, I get teary-eyed. And I remember in school, I had my, I had my first little boyfriend, my first boyfriend, and I called myself, I was in love. I really didn't know that I was in love until we broke up. When we broke up, it crushed me. And the thing about it, I didn't even know we had broken up, right? But we had broken up because he started going his way, and then I went and I was like, okay. He used to come and meet me at this door and carry my books, and okay, what happened? Well, I started seeing him with another girl doing the same thing. Oh my God, that thing tore me apart. And I think I was in the 10th grade. But anyway, I said all this to say this about not that incident that, well, I guess you could say that's the ingredient of me too. But this incident right here, what I couldn't get over, I was in trigonometry. Now, I don't know how many of you have taken trig. I did. Was I in trig or pre-calculus? One of them, it don't matter. But I was in this intense class, and I was like one of 5 girls in this class. Oh, y'all, let me digress again. One of 5 girls in a math class. Now, how many of y'all girls have been told boys are better in math? The devil is a lie, because no, that's something that was planted, and we're going to change that. Right, Naya? Yes, we're going to change that. Okay, so anyway, I was in the class, and where I was really, really active. I used to be very active in this class because I loved math. I actually loved math. And this teacher's teaching style was so great. She was phenomenal. Yeah, a female trig teacher. She was phenomenal. And it just came second to her. Just everything. And she would just teach it just like it was nothing. But now I think about it, you're teaching this all the time. So it's really something you just, it's repetition. So I loved her teaching style. So it's nothing like, it's great when you have a teacher that you get, and the teacher actually loves you, when she see you getting it. It's like her eyes would just light up. My eyes would light up. Well, all of that changed, right? It started changing because my heart was broken from this breakup. And I would come in the classroom and I would put my head on the desk, and I was just like, I would be sick. I was sick, and I was really sick. And she never said a word. She never said a word. Now, I was like her ace, who she called on me all the time. And I remember the last time she called on me and never called on me again. I didn't know the answer to the problem, and that should have been a clue to her. There should have been a clue when I come to class. I was always vocal in this class, and my head was on the desk. That should have been a clue that something is not right with this kid. Now, she didn't know that if I was being hurt at home, or if I had enough to eat, or if at that time, I didn't think about that she well, I guess I did think about that she didn't care about me, but I was more concerned with, or thinking, thank God she allowed me to sleep. And now that I'm thinking about that and just said that, praise God, she allowed me to rest. See how you can celebrate certain things? You just get your mind off of the negative part and you just think about, okay, how can I make light of this situation? I was able to rest. She never said anything. She never put me out. She never said anything. Now, my grades started going down, and I was wondering why she never talked to me about what's going on with me. I needed somebody to care, but she didn't. So I said all of that to say this. Our circumstances, again, are ingredients. Our ingredients that are poured in the pot called you. The ingredients of you. That's what it, and that was just a portion of what was poured in my pot that made me me. And I made it to this point in life to now say, I appreciate her not even bothering me. I was able to sleep because God knows I wasn't sleeping, So I thank God for that, and I thank her for that. And all the years I wanted to go back and say, you never even asked me or cared what was wrong with me. Now I don't feel that way. I don't really feel that way. I can't say I don't at all, but I don't really as bad as I did. And then another piece of that puzzle is showed me how I want to be as a teacher. I know I can't save everyone. I know that somebody may get lost in the shuffle, and I pray that never happens. But I want to be the best that I can be. And if that light starts to burn out, that fire, where I'm letting the kid just lay down, then I need to just say, okay, I got to walk away. I got to walk away from this because I'm doing a disservice. I'm just getting a paycheck. And unfortunately, that's how I had almost gotten in the military, where I was like, nah, I'm getting like this. So it was time to throw up the deuces, y'all. All right, so point 3, the fun part of it. Y'all got a trip for less than, $4.99 to the Philippines. It's a round trip flight to the Philippines, and it's going for $4.99. I think it's the cheapest one is $4.99. It may be a little less than that, but I think that's it. And they have some that go up from there. But again, you have to travel during those particular times that they want you to travel. But you can't beat that. You cannot beat that. If some of you guys want to go to the Philippines, and I do plan to go one day. In fact, through the military, I met some great people and friends, that I would love to go. They all encouraged me to go to visit at least one time in my life. So I have many more vacation trips and special discounts if you guys want to think about going. And by the way, there's a conference going on the Bahamas cruise in July at the last week of July. That cruise there is, oh my goodness, it's wonderful. It's a 4-day, 3-night cruise, and right now it is less than $500, and that it's a cruise. So, and it's just wonderful. It's an empowerment cruise, not just for women. You're talking about coaches, authors, and entrepreneurs, and that's in July. So you might want to plan on it. So comment and let me know, and I'll give you more info on that. Well, guys, that wraps up Naya's project for today. And if you have an interest in being on the actual radio show, let me know, because I have a spot for you, and I can tell you all the details. And one more piece of it, y'all, and then I'm gonna let you go. If you are an author, a new author, I have always reviewed new authors' books, and I've given them my version of the gold stars, and I put them in my blog. I also would send them to different groups I'm in and just advertise the books or what have you. And I've had a couple of them who did very well because I did that. And all a lot of people want somebody to read and give their opinion and discuss their book. So if you are an author, let me know. I will review your book for free and send you the write-up, and we go from there. So let me know. Matter of fact, I got a young lady, I'm getting ready to review her book now. And wow, I can't wait, right? Because it's talking about her relationship with her mom, and oh wow, it's going to be a good one. And I hope I don't cry too much, because y'all know I'm a crybaby. Anyway, so God bless you, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Join Nikki Ruffin-Smith, the host of Naya's Project, on Global Voice Radio every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern.